Talking with Words.
That'll wake you up. Welcome back to Talking with Words. You're here with Rob and some other people.
Taylor and Sally. I can barely hear myself.
Biffed
Good
it.
Lord.
Totally biffed it.
Here, how's that?
Taylor's fault.
You're very deaf.
Shut up,
Is
butthead.
that better?
I am.
Better?
Oh, it's fine. Whatever.
A or B? A or B?
You're louder in B. You sound loud. You're fine. Do I sound okay?
You sound great.
Okay. Let's
Are
do
we
this.
are we done with all that now?
Yep.
Can we move along?
Move it.
Hey, we're gonna watch Nope.
That's loud.
You wanted it louder, and now it's louder.
No, I wanted me to be louder, not you to be louder.
Your voice?
Yeah. I didn't think you could hear me.
Yeah. You didn't even ask.
It's like a Marx Brothers routine.
Jesus
Literally what I
Christ.
asked. Can you hear me? I literally said, "Can you hear me?" I can barely hear myself.
Ooh.
Am I wrong? Tell me
Guys,
if I'm wrong.
Guys,
Don't worry. I'll
We can
replay it all.
rewind
I'll
it.
replay it all
Okay,
later.
go for it.
Hey, we're gonna watch Nope. Gee, fuck. We can get through this opening.
It's the best introduction.
You're tired. So,
I
Nope
am.
just came out. Is described as the residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. Starring,
Ooh.
you want to do the names on this? You're really good at names.
A gulch. I like gulch.
It is
That's
a
a
gulch.
great word.
This is Jordan Peele's, fourth
I think it's his third.
horror? Because he did,
Is that of like Key and Peele?
yeah,
That's
Oh, wow,
correct.
really?
Yeah, he's peeling.
yeah.
Okay. Starring Danielle Kaluuya. I think it's actually Kaluuya. I think I don't. He's not a.
Is he not a delicious drink?
He's not a delicious drink. Kiki Palmer, Brandon Perea, and Michael Wincott,
Man, love that Michael Wincott was in this.
with special guest Stephen Wynn and Ren Schmidt.
And let's not forget one of my favorites, Keith David.
He's bringing up the rear.
hmm Written and directed by Jordan Peele, who's really hasn't missed yet, as far as I could tell. I've not watched Candyman yet. That's on the list.
That's not his. They marketed that with his name
Oh,
in
did they?
there. Yeah.
So this is his third.
Yes.
Okay. I thought that was one of his.
Nope. They tried. They wanted to sell tickets to it, and so they plastered his name on. But he's the executive producer. He's just trying to help out some other black directors.
They John Carpentered it.
You're correct.
Gotcha. All right. Sally, you want to give us the parents' guide?
I don't know. Are you guys ready? Okay.
Jesus Christ.
The Parents Guide. This is rated R for language throughout and some violence and bloody images. Sex and nudity. Damn it. There's none.
Not even a little.
Not even a little
I'll
smidge.
see you guys later. I'm going home.
Violence and gore, moderate. Profanity is severe. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, mild. Might want to edit that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And frightening and intense scenes are severe.
Okay.
I thought it would be funny.
that was good. That was good.
have to do that. I mean, let's stop talking about it. Taylor and I saw this in theaters. I'm ready to watch this thing again. Sally is in for a real treat. It'll graboid you off the first scene.
Hey, just so you know, though, the alcohol, drugs, and smoking is actually all it is Emerald hits her vape throughout, and Angel is seen smoking a joint. So nothing really big.
but you got to watch out for those vapes because
They could be these things called dad pens that I've just learned about.
Yeah, you put them up your butt.
Wait, what?
No.
I put
Hold
it.
on. Let's go back to the Taylor's
Also,
thing.
also, they use the word fuck 62 times and motherfucker 5 times and shit 53.
That's how you know Samuel Jackson wasn't in it.
Yeah.
That's all I've got.
Needs more motherfuckers.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right. Let's want to go back to the dad vapes or
Let's watch this movie. What do you
okay.
say?
Yeah, all right. We'll talk about that after. Join us after dark for dad butt vapes or whatever the hell that was.
They're dad pens.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm ready. All right,
It's
let's watch
just,
this.
It's just THC. THC? TCH. I don't know, the drug.
It's,
You're high.
it's HTC. It's a home shopping network.
Whatever.
Movie time. Christ.
Now I'm away. Okay, I'm back.
No, did you black out there for a second?
Yeah, oh man.
Oh, man.
If I had a nickel, it'd probably go through my eye. Oh, it's topical. It's a topical night.
Let's talk about Nope. I want Sally's first reactions because I don't know how long she's going to be able to stay awake.
It's probably a really good call.
It's like 10 to 11, which means she's been up fighting sleep for 2 hours.
That's really
You're fighting a yawn right now.
no.
Well,
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh,
God, say nope once.
come on, catchphrases,
He's
please.
teeing you up every.
Shit.
dude, it's the second week of school. Give me a break. And I'm up late on a Friday night,
It's true.
Yeah, the nights that you can be.
and I am.
All right,
so.
let's get into this. Sally, Jesus.
Well,
Just be 10 minutes of arguing.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Still don't get the monkey what that has to do with anything.
We'll get into,
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
get into
yeah,
that.
we'll get into it.
We'll explain it to you.
Monkeys have to do with everything.
Nope.
Anyway, y'all are gonna just nope it to death.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was good. I felt like at the very end that
You know, my favorite thing is
It was
editing
a-
out all these long.
it was a little Austin Powersy.
Wait, what?
Austin
Where?
Powers?
Yeah, with the big balloon guy going up.
I think.
Oh, she's talking about the dick jokes. Are you talking about the dick jokes? What are you talking about?
Talking about Big Boy, the
Yeah.
spaceship?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did you watch any of this?
Yes. I'm just telling. I'm trying to make conversation because you always say I suck at this.
No, this is great.
Oh, this is gold.
And then,
Yep, more of my favorite things.
sorry I didn't take 6 pages of notes.
One. I didn't even fill one up. Well, mostly.
Apology accepted.
Whatever. I still am really confused about the white horse, how it leaves, comes back, leaves, come back.
All right, let's.
Is that a memory?
there's some-
Is that a...
There, let's start going through this, and then
Some
we'll explain
logistics.
some of these things for you that
Okay.
you.
Okay, but you have to give me the dumbed down version and the quick version.
Logistical concerns is what Sally's
I
got.
don't prefer to call the dumb down. I prefer to call it me helping you understand what happened.
Okay.
But listen, I don't care about all the angles of the camera.
Yeah. Okay.
You're on
Well-
the right podcast.
We'll cut you out before we have those
That'd be great.
conversations.
We'll
That
do a
would be
quick
great.
rundown, and then Taylor and I can jerk each other off about how amazing this was shot and done, and
A cocoon
music.
of
And
cum.
it's
Okay.
that's a different movie. That's Anaconda.
So simple 3 acts. This movie is a great 3-act, and you know what that is, don't you, Sally?
3 acts. Got it.
Something happens in the first act, something happens in the second act, and then something happens in the third act.
Yep.
So, in the first act, they see the saucer,
Yeah.
and they're like, hey, let's try and do something about this. And then the second act is the Jupiter's crossing thing, where it's revealed
Right.
that those guys have known about this shit the entire time,
Yeah.
and they've been working on it. So you realize that your main characters that you've been with, they're just getting caught up. They're just getting caught up to speed. And then the third act is, finally they realize they've been behind the 8 ball, and they come up with a plan to get the money
The money
shot.
shot. Yeah.
I might have missed part of Act 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
you were snoring a little in that
Okay.
too.
Okay.
Now, to run through Act 1, I love the opening of this because you have no idea its context. It is not directly related to the main story of the film. It's just a shot, and it's just the chimp covered in blood poking we assume, the body and then locks eyes with the camera, and it cuts to black.
And it's quite terrifying.
And it's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
It did exactly what he wanted it to do. It sets you up to just be like, ugh, what is this?
And it's all, it uses the film medium perfectly. It's all visuals and sound effects. And those the sound effects are great. Whoever did sound for this movie crushed it. I love it so much.
Yep.
It's that slapping, that wet slapping sounds as he's beating, and then you
have the eating of the face.
Eating of the face, and then you have the shot of the shoe. There's a lot of visually things in here that are real, that in just that opening scene that are real striking, and there's a lot for you to choose what to grab onto.
Yeah. And one of those things that I feel like there's a really good balance of in this is the hearing, oh my God, just look at your face.
We're talking about the hearing. I just wanted to talk about the monkey.
Fuck.
And
All
what
right.
it has to
Talk
do
about
with
what you
it.
want to talk about real quick, and then you can go to bed.
Let's talk about the monkey.
What does he have to do with
All right,
anything?
listen.
Other than I think that would be a good movie itself if it were true.
Well, let me ask you this: did the monkey stuff bother you?
No.
You didn't care at all.
No, I thought it would have been a really good movie.
You didn't think
if
it
that
was
the
tense, or
movie.
it didn't like make you scared of monkeys or anything like that?
No.
Or of animals that should be left alone in the wild and not try to be tamed, because that's the entire point of
That has
the monkey.
nothing to do with this movie, Rob.
No. Nope.
Give her a cookie.
Nailed it.
All right. Well, what else do you want to talk about? Let's get through your shit first.
Well, what else did I say?
Okay, hold on. I feel like we need to touch. Well, let's touch on this.
No, I'm getting her the fuck out of here because she's like
I wanna know
staring at
about
me
the
like she
monkey
wants
thing.
to stab
The
me.
monkey.
I just told you.
The monkey thing is a microcosm for the whole movie, where there's some animals that can't be tamed. They're just wild animals.
So really, it had nothing to do with the movie at all.
Did you watch the fucking movie?
So let's move on to
No,
the
hold
white-
on. I'm gonna try this one more time. I told you exactly what it was.
I get that, but it had nothing to do with the movie. That some things you can't be tamed.
This is
I get it.
Amazing. I love it.
I get it.
That's
The-
yes.
So this thing out in the universe
Okay.
can't be tamed.
The
Is that where we're going with it?
the Gordy show
Yes.
is, oh man, it's a parallel because we have shows like that, or we used to have. We don't really have them anymore. Shows like that. It's a real life thing, and it's explaining, hey, we thought this was a great idea for animals that we know, we understand, and then you have Jude. Was that his name? Jupe.
Yeah, Jupe.
Trying to do the same thing with an entity creature that we have no idea about. He learned nothing from that experience with the monkey, and he's trying to tame and befriend this jean jacket is what they end up calling the entity. You follow me at all?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
They were the animal trainers, so they understood that wild animals are sometimes they're just wild.
Yeah.
But he is an actor. He's an idiot. And
Yeah.
so he made some philosophical connection with animals in his head to where he had some spiritual thing going on. And they knew
And it's because of that fist bump.
right.
You know it is.
It's the fist bump. But they knew that was stupid because they work with animals day in and day out. And it's like, you work with animals, you partner with animals, and some of them, even the ones that you train well, some of them are just wild.
Even a trained horse will kick you off if you're not paying attention to it.
Right. And that's the whole thing, is they recognize that this UFO is just a wild animal. And there's nothing you can do about a wild animal.
But
So-
they did.
Well, they killed it.
They killed
Exactly.
it, yeah, and they were able to capture, it on film like National Geographic, but
Which is another parallel that they did throughout Antler's hoist
Yeah.
section, which,
Yeah.
God, I love that so much.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
what
let's
else you got
move
before
on
you gotta
to
get out of
the
here?
white horse.
This is going to be a 2-part podcast. We're going to have the Sally questions, and then Taylor and I are going to just eat into this thing like a big old piece of fucking cake
I
because
love
it's
it.
delicious.
I love it.
Go ahead. What else you got?
The white horse.
Yeah.
It kept leaving and coming back. Where was it going? What was
It-
it doing? Was it
okay.
just a imaginary?
I
I think
think
that's part of where you kind of faded out. So, Lucky No, Lucky's the black horse.
Yeah,
Ghost.
Ghost
Ran away the first time, and we had where OJ was chasing him down in the ATV, saw the lights down at Jupiter's.
This is night number 1.
Right.
This is the very first.
Right.
The middle of the first act.
Right.
And he sees that happen. You have the lights go out. You have the sound of the horse I'm assuming it's the horse
from Jupiter's Crossing.
Right.
The
that
one
was
that
picked up.
Yeah.
It wasn't Lucky because we see Lucky again later.
And he never brings Ghost back that first night.
Right. Ghost is like, fuck this, I'm out.
Right.
And then you have the next day, he's bringing him back in from out because he's seen the jean jacket, the creature, and the horse is just taking off. He's like, fuck this.
Remember, the next day, in between this, they go and get the cameras. They do this whole thing. And
It's a lot like Tremors, where the horse sees a snake tremor thing come out of the ground, and it jumps and tries to run away.
It's a graboid.
My friend Walter named him, and then they killed him. And then he brings it back in, right? Next day, or was it 2 days later, freaks out again, runs off. That time, gets eaten.
Okay.
But between that, you also had the decoy
Hoist.
The decoy horse
From
that they took from Jupiter's
With the flags.
which was very Back to the Future. I enjoyed it. But it also set up the entire thing that, ooh, those taste bad.
Yeah. So yeah, the horse thing, it's just something that was going on. I feel like you're hanging on to the white
Jordan
horse
Peele
thing.
let the white horse die because he has a score to settle with white people.
Okay.
But it's
Also,
not,
did you notice that there was a key? I don't know if that was a Key and Peele joke or not.
Oh.
That was my first thought.
Well, did they peel anything? I don't think they did.
Well, they peeled the skin off the fucking thing at the end. But
Well,
also, Peele wrote it and directed it. And
it was a rough one. I said,
hold on.
Okay,
Shut the
okay,
fuck up.
okay.
What else you got?
I just didn't like the big balloon
Why?
because it reminded me of Austin Powers.
Okay. Well, we've established that part.
Hold on. Now I need to ask this
Oh,
question.
get in there.
Do you like Austin Powers?
Not really.
Wow. Okay. So
I see the issue.
So you got bad sense memory there.
I just feel like they were copying.
I agree. That was a direct ripoff of Austin Powers. Yeah.
Other than that, I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Meow mix, meow mix.
Okay.
Anything else you liked about this movie?
Yeah. What else did you grab onto?
What did you like? Those are fun.
I just thought it was good.
Okay.
It was interesting that
Anything
there
else
were
you like?
black cowboys because that doesn't happen very often anymore.
It's never happened in America.
It's true. It's
I
true.
mean, doesn't like you hardly ever see like
black
like
people.
cowboys.
Well, black people don't actually know how to ride horses. This is something. It's a movie. They did it all on special effects. But
Shut up!
no, I'm serious.
You're lying.
Jesus died so black people could ride
It
horses.
might not be.
Okay, I try to make a point, and you guys just make fun of it.
No.
Nope.
That's not.
You ever seen Blazing Saddles?
Yes,
All right. Just checking.
I said you don't see many black cowboys these days.
I'm gonna have to cut it out twice now.
Is that racist?
It's close enough.
How many? Look, hold on. Here's a question. How many cowboys do you see these days?
A lot.
Okay.
In Clinton,
I'm from
where they
Clinton,
hate black
Arkansas.
people.
They do not hate black people in Clinton, Arkansas.
How close is it to Harrison?
75 miles.
Yep.
And it's not Harrison. It's Zinc.
A mineral's a mineral.
But Clinton is not like that. Clinton has a lot of black people actually now. And next weekend is the National Chuck Wagon races. So
They're not
there'll be
getting-
20,000 cowboys in Clinton.
I want to know how many black cowboys are in that 20,000.
I would like to know. That's my whole point.
I bet there's one.
There's got to be at least one.
There's
right?
one.
That's my whole point.
Maybe
I
a
would-
mulatto.
I hope there's not just one. That's
That'd
gonna
be
look, That's
bad.
gonna look
Yeah.
bad. That's
That'd
gonna
be bad on
Jesus.
everybody.
Ugh.
Jesus was black.
Yeah.
Want to get some people real riled up?
But I bet he didn't. I don't know. Do they have horses in Lebanon? Is that where Jesus was from?
Donkeys.
Donkeys and camels. Didn't they say they switched to camels?
Oh yeah,
Scorpion
for the
King?
Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Is that where Jesus was from, Scorpion King?
Yeah, he's big friends with The Rock.
Well, he got
I feel like we have
water
gotten
from
off
a stone.
topic.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Sally, do you want to go to bed? All right, I'm going to pause it and walk you out. You want to say bye to all your fans?
Goodbye, fans.
I'm glad.
Oh,
Do you
man.
hear how my voice is kind of hoarse?
Mm-hmm.
It's because I've taught K through 4th grade
Oh.
PE for 2 weeks now.
I thought it was because all the horses in this movie.
Nope.
Because she was riding dirty.
Made you
I just said
horse.
nope again, and nobody got it.
Yeah, we all got it. That's the whole thing.
I've only said it twice.
Nope.
This is solid. This is solid banter. Is what
Can I
they call
tell my story about my Nope T-shirt?
Oh, yeah. I mean, now's the time.
Okay, so this is
I almost wanted to say nope, but it's actually a good story.
okay. So this is kind of a funny story. So
Yep.
I feel like everybody that listens to this knows me. So those of you that
That
don't
is very
know me,
incorrect. There are a lot of people that listen to this that
those
don't
of
know
you
who
that
are.
don't know me, I'm a PE teacher.
Big
But
in
anyway,
Germany.
so I was at Kohl's one time and I saw this.
That's an American
T-shirt
retail store.
that said NO on top and then it had a PE on the bottom. And I thought it said no PE. So I bought the shirt for me and my coworker so we could trick the kids. No PE today. But it was really nope.
What did your English teachers think about this shirt?
I don't know.
Okay. Just checking.
And that's a story about a time that Sally learned about punctuation.
Coles.
Good night.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't want to sign off or anything?
This is Sally Ann Gilchrist. See?
Oh, my
voice is
God.
leaving me. Signing off.
Got a voice for silent films.
Not funny.
Take a quick break to roll Sally down the stairs.
Well, I came down to Earth and I hid in a tree. I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, don't eat me. Well, he looked at me and in a voice so gruff, he said, I wouldn't eat you. Because you're too tough.
A whole new different podcast now. All right. Hey, thanks, Sally. That was lovely. You're a beautiful human being. Let's talk about this movie, though.
Yeah, let's. Oh man, what do you want to talk about? There's a couple things I want to talk about. I didn't write them down, but
So, I'm going to start just posting my pages, I think, now that I started Instagram for the podcast, by the way.
okay.
So, anytime,
We're gramming, and I hope you like gramming too.
that's the one.
Ooh, and you can.
Let's do,
Let's talk.
I
Hold
shouldn't have
on.
even started this again.
Let's start out with meta. Let's start out. I've got something I want to just comment on, which I think this is.
Go.
I think probably this is my favorite movie that he's put out so far out of the three.
I 100% agree. I like the others. This one, it was more fun the second time,
It's so simple.
and it's the little things they do
Yes.
they always turn out better
Yes.
than they should.
Yep. Everything is so well done with the scenes and how all of these characters are very well fleshed out as far as their character goes.
Right.
And watching them all interact together with them all being very different is so much fun.
Like Angel's the only one they don't really take a lot of time to do,
Yeah.
but even Jupe. Jesus.
Oh,
That's what a fucking.
Stephen
I'm gonna
Yeun-
call him Ricky from now on because Jupe's a fucking mess.
Yes.
Ricky, his is so good, and you don't really have the connection with it. I didn't have the connection with it the first time as much as I did with the second time.
Yep. Once I figured out what's going on, I talked to you about this. I thought he was trying to fool them.
Right.
I thought he was smart and he was trying to mess with them.
He was going to get the big payday.
He was an absolute moron the
Yep.
entire time. And once you realize that, boy, he's so good. Stephen Yeun is so good playing a dope.
He played a child actor, one of those that never did anything,
Yeah.
that just rode off of the coattails of being little Billy badass or whatever. And he even says when they're talking about it, he was in what was the other show? Little Kid Sheriff. And they're like, well, after all the
And he doesn't.
after the success of Kid Sheriff, they put me on this other show, Gordy's Home. So before the massacre, he was already a kid star.
Right.
So I like that they just labeled them like, don't worry about that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it reminded me of, you know who he reminded me of? Of Mesmer from The Boys. Haley Joel Osment playing Mesmer.
yeah.
And he's like, you know, he's going to Comic-Cons, he's doing his thing, and he's just trying to get back into the superhero club. And that's who he kind of reminded me of. I mean,
He had a bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, I know he was trying to, he wasn't necessarily trying to get back into fame land, but he
had the arrogance and air about him.
Right.
He never left it.
He got fixated on that monkey incident where he thought he had a connection with animals, and it ultimately, like, his hubris led to.
He was clearly God.
Yeah.
Like, after that the first exploding fist bomb, which is a great joke.
It's the first one, by the way. Yeah, it's so good.
And I also love when they come in and she says something about Kid Sheriff. He just says, "Oh, su casa es mi casa," which is the opposite. It's your house is my house.
Right. He's an idiot, and I
just-
didn't catch that until you said it. I just let that float on by.
It's one of those agents, like the beginning, where you have
Yeah.
the agents that are just like, "Hey,
Yep.
look at how all this piece of meat."
Right.
Just stupid.
Here, let's do one of your things, and then I'll do one of mine.
All right, so let's go back a little bit, and we have there is so much in that first 10-minute shot from OJ with the horse to when they go into the room with Ricky. That encapsulates the entire movie with foreshadowing that you don't know is foreshadowing.
Right.
You know, it's those little nuggets of pieces that they just know. And I wrote down a couple of them just as we were going through, and then I was like, fuck, it's a whole movie. Like, everything right now, because they show, one, OJ's not exactly a people person.
Yeah.
Emerald is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's flighty and crazy and all that. Within all that, he knows exactly how to work with animals, and he's on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Whereas normal people, all of them are also white, were stupid,
Yeah.
like we are. And
They're very Penn and Teller, both of them.
yes, very much so. And then we had, from those sequences across the board, we had the inflatables. They showed the horse statue when they drove up into Jupiter's. All of Jupiter's claim, even the back end. You had the well photo thing. They had the shoe from Gordy's. You had the reflector that they use on the horse, and he saw his own eyes,
Yep.
and he freaked out. Tons of stuff right in the beginning.
All this setup, and it all gets paid off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things that you mentioned that I didn't catch is at the beginning when she at the studio does her opening.
Oh, yeah,
and addresses everybody, and she goes through her
Your loophole destroyer?
her laundry list
Yeah.
of everything that she's also into,
Yeah.
including motorcycle stunt driver, seamstress.
Yeah.
So this all comes back later on. I was like, wow, that's great that they threw that in there.
Because you know somebody was like, how the fuck did she know to do this?
Right.
We'll put it in her resume at the beginning
Yeah.
of the movie. No problem.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll fix it.
How is she so good at riding a bike? Done, taken care
Easy.
of. Yep.
Just one line. And then that's even when we're going into Jupiter, over the loudspeaker, they're saying Friday, 5
Yeah.
p.m.,
Yeah.
friends, and and then they go up to see Ricky and his wife, what is it, Eden or something like that?
Yeah.
She's talking to somebody on the phone, like, well, Friday's going to be a big day with our new attraction.
Right.
And you're like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, the second time is way better because you pick up on all those little things.
Hmm. There's all this stuff that they just walk right past, and so do you the first time that you watch it. Because why would you think anything of it?
It's not like the golden chainsaw that you walk by and the camera pans across it for 2.5 minutes
Right.
going, oh, I wonder if that'll have anything to do later.
Yeah.
These are normal events,
Right.
normal things, and they are just crossed at the normal pace as everything else.
Right. And you're sitting there, and now when I go back through, I think about, okay, wait a minute. Why would all these people be at this junked out, like in the middle of nowhere thing? oh, this is like word of mouth that has spread, and they go, hey, go up here, you'll see a UFO. People have shown up and they're piddling around in this thing. You know, the kids dressed up as the aliens, all this stuff that's
Right.
and you go, oh, this all comes back and it all fits together at the end of the second
And
act.
it's also another great example of Ricky being Ricky. He's just going to pivot from cowboy to alien. What a hell of a pivot.
Done.
I
No
mean,
problem.
That movie made a lot of money in the box office, so why not try it in real life?
Whatever life throws your way.
I loved it. Already had merch.
Yeah, yeah, and I love it. I love whenever they're doing those establishing shots of the merchandise, and you know, if you look at the on the labels of the drink mixers that he's got,
Oh yeah, the
one
cactus.
of them is Sky Cactus.
Yeah.
It's like Skyflower or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. You go, oh, the rest of them are just cactus. They're like Western, and then there's one that's like, okay, it's alien themed.
Wait, what does that mean?
Yeah, perfect.
And this is also, which I thought this was sadder the second time, the 10th horse that OJ sold to this guy, which means he's just feeding his horses this fucking thing.
Yes,
Like, he's not getting his horses back. Because as soon as he starts to say, I'd like to get a plan in place to start, she's like, what's this? He's like, oh, let me show you that. Let's not talk about any of those things you just said.
Right.
Because I'm feeding your horses to a sky crane.
Right. And you know, he says that, and now on the second time that I watched it, I realized, oh, he doesn't know. Stephen Yoon just realized that they don't know that he's feeding the horses. Yeah. And then he comes up later to invite them to the show.
With the flyer that gets lost.
Right,
which
because he's an idiot, and he's like, oh, I'll invite them to the show where I feed them their horses.
Horses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, he's so stupid. Like, he doesn't realize that they would be upset by that.
I loved his character way more the second time.
Oh, he's so good.
Very fun.
All of the characters, well, you know which one's my favorite, but all the characters are great. The main five here are so solid.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about this.
Okay.
I love one of my favorite aspects of this movie, and I think the reason why I probably like this one more than the other two, you know, he did Get Out, and he did Us.
Yeah.
Both of those movies have, you know, while they're great films, they have elements of blackness in both of them. That, especially, you know, Get Out is a movie about, it is a horror movie for black people.
Right.
And then Us has, it's not necessarily a horror movie for black people, but there are elements that they call attention to the fact that this family's, you know, they're black, they're not white, they have the black boat.
Yeah.
They don't have the white boat. But
this they follow that family more than any other.
That's true.
And you see how they're treated differently and all that shit.
This has nothing to do with color. This is just a problem that anybody could run into. And our main two characters happen to be black. And it adds a lot to this movie because nobody does that. There's no white director who's going to make the two main characters black and then like make it authentic and make it good and like speak with that kind of black voice. And this one, it definitely adds something to it. It's great to watch both of these two like interact and like, you know, have that perspective on the interactions. And I think about the one where he's in the car at the end of the second act, and
where it's hovering over him.
It hovers over him, and he's just trying to keep his cool. He's just in there. Yeah. He's not saying anything. He's trying to keep his cool. He's being completely quiet. He opens the door. He looks up a little bit. He comes back inside the car. Doesn't say anything. I mean, he's just sitting there. Just
30-second count.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a black guy getting stopped by the cops, trying not to do anything to set off the cops. And I was like,
wow, off on this, aren't you?
I go, this is what's happening. That is what is happening. And he's trying not to move suddenly or make any adjustments that might get him into trouble. And I didn't pick that up the first time, but I picked it up the second time. And I was like,
read some blogs, did you?
This is great, huh?
Read some blogs.
That actually, I didn't pick that up on a blog.
That was all
That's
you.
an original thought.
Look at you.
But I mean, and I
Thinking
could be
again.
wrong, but I felt like I was like, this is what this is.
The part, because I don't think about it as a black movie, other than the fact that you have the black heroes and everyone that dies and is a douchebag pretty much is white. Other than that could be any movie. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's the way Jordan Peele writes some of his dialogue. I like the way that when Jordan Peele writes his dialogue, we talked about this. It's like Quentin Tarantino writing super white guy dialogue.
Yeah.
We're like, oh yeah, that's exactly how I would say it.
Yes.
And when I hear this, it's way more realistic than, going back and watching the 80s action movies with black protagonists, which, there's not any.
One of the things that I noticed, and I think it works in this movie, probably because the two main characters are black, is when what's his character's name?
OJ.
When OJ sees the saucer at the very beginning, and he goes and he tells his sister about it. There's not a scene after that where she's like, "You're an idiot.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
You're
you
fucking
didn't
with
see
me."
it.
Yeah.
There's not a scene where she has to be convinced.
Yeah.
She's just like, she moves on to, let's get the money. Let's get the photos. Let's do this thing. We're all in.
And my favorite part of
that's
that
the next
scene
scene.
is when she says it at the end. He's like, big, big, real big.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Are you sure?" And he just does like this tiniest little nod, just this.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I was talking to you or Will or anybody else about this and like try not to freak out while trying to make you not be like, "Hey, you're clearly insane and on acid."
Right.
That's exactly what I would do.
And he is so not Hollywood at all. He likes the animals. He wants to work with the animals. He wants to be quiet. He just wants to do his own thing. So when he says something outlandish, she, who is very Hollywood, she's hustling. She's got 15 different jobs. She goes, "Okay, this happened.
What's next?
Yeah, let's
What do we do with it?"
Let's use my skills and we'll go and do this thing." There's just no fat. There's no fat on this movie at all.
And from there, we get to go to the store and meet Angel, who's a real treat.
Yeah. And I thought that was gonna be it. Just him in the store.
Just being a dick.
Yes. Yeah. And then you flesh him out a little bit.
He got a little bit of a Cinderella story because he got to start off as this little turd, and then I loved him after he set the cameras up. He was trying so hard to be like,
Let me in on this.
"Can I be with you guys?
Yes.
Can I hang out?
Yeah.
Can we be cool?" And then he comes back and shows them that he's figured out. And this is another thing I wanted to talk about. The Cloud. They're like, "All right, you're good enough to keep around for a minute."
Yeah.
And then he just becomes part of the crew.
He proved himself.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So the Cloud is there for I think he said 6 months.
Yes.
He mentioned like, I was probably looking at the same cloud for 6 months.
Yeah.
So my question is, if this is a creature and it is going out and about and eating people up, inside that cloud, do you think that that's its spaceship or home, or because that doesn't move?
No, that's like his camouflage. Like,
But he has camouflage when he's moving around in other places with the camouflage moving. Like the first time you see him, he's in a cloud moving, but that cloud didn't move. So I wonder if that was like home base or.
well, maybe that's where he slept. That could have been.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it could be anything.
Yeah.
But it'd be really great if that was, the spaceship they came in on. There was like 9 more of them in there.
Yeah. No, that'd be interesting. I just think that was, that's it.
The next movie's just called like Maybe.
Nopes. No. Yeah. I suppose.
Man, thanks for nailing that, Sally. Oh.
Sorry.
All right. Well, then they steal the bait horse, which another great moment with Ricky.
Yeah.
Because, my favorite part of that is when they set it out, he starts to say, "Where'd you get yours?" He's like, "Where'd you get?" And she just screams over, "Where'd you get yours?"
Where'd you get yours?
I don't know. I'd have to ask the wife.
See,
all right, well.
And I want to know how much they played around with these scenes, especially like the scene where what's his name, Angel is leaving After they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we don't want your help.
Give me 5 stars.
Yeah, I wonder how much they played around with that scene,
had
or if
to.
they nailed it, because
I would think you'd have to.
yeah, I go,
There's so many different ways you can go with it.
yeah. Did Jordan write it that well, or did he like, okay, let's start working through this?
Right. This is the idea.
Yeah, and then we're tightening it up.
Stay in this
tightening
circle.
it up. Yeah. Interrupt him constantly.
Yeah. I mean, it was great.
It's so good, and it's the right amount of humor too. There's like 3 jokes in there, like 3 humor timings, and it's not too much. It's not.
Yeah.
I compare it to 2016 Ghostbusters, where it's just like, fucking end it, end this. Stop.
I love that we're
this.
gonna shit on the movie while we're doing praising another one.
Dude, I'll shit on Ghostbusters. Oh, it's
I know.
2016.
Gonna have to get you a
That's
diaper.
fucking garbage. But yeah, no, it's just so it's great that he's got that humor base where he can put that in there. This is not a comedy, but damn, that humor really rounds the movie out so nicely.
Well, and with that humor itself, you're also bringing Angel forward
Yes.
from the background.
Yep.
Because now you realize he believes him immediately.
Yeah.
He's one of these people because he talked about, which I need to look this up, the UFO to UAP.
Oh yeah.
So he's already, butting down that rabbit hole on YouTube or whatever. And he just is like, oh man, I want to be part of the team so bad. And that's when he comes back the next. No, he calls him that night, and then he comes back the next day and
Yeah.
is
Points out the
pretty
club.
much there the rest of the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, which I did like that a lot. I also liked that when they were installing the second camera, OJ was wearing a Michael Jordan shirt, but it just said Jordan on the back. And I wonder if Jordan Peele's like, yeah.
I love it. That's the thing that you latch onto. Yeah.
I mean, I've put 2 of my books in my short films. I get it. So from here, we fade into the second act, and this is the only act in only like 10 minutes of the film that has any jump scares.
Yeah.
Like all 6 of them are immediate back to back to back to back to back to back, and then there's not another one.
Because he's built it up, and he's like, okay, I've got to get a release here for the audience.
pop-
They need something.
If you have a jump scare after that, you relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I assume I've done it. I assume that's how he would do it.
Yeah.
But if you have 5 of them in a row, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
You get uncomfortable for a minute.
Well, and it's also like, okay, after that first act, people are expecting aliens. You have to give them aliens. Like
Which is a great misdirection.
yeah.
The way he does that is awesome because if he still did aliens and it was a ship, still fun.
Jesus Christ. That scene with those aliens.
The second one popping out of the stall, like I'm getting goosebumps. I love how that worked.
Fuck me, was that a great scene.
And the second time when we watched it tonight, I got really close to the TV and I was watching like the body movements. It was fantastic.
So
like
good.
the little things they did where they move their heads around and stuff.
Well, because they do it in sync.
Yeah.
There's 2 leans, and there's the one that you know about that does the lean, and at the
then
same
the second
time, that one
the second
leans
one pops
out,
Yeah.
and you go, that's a comedy scene as well, but in that context, it's
Yeah.
horrifying.
It's scary as shit.
You don't want that,
And-
and you know,
My first thought when I saw that was, are we just blowing the fucking lid off and like going?
yeah,
Because
We're-
it wasn't
we're-
like goofy green aliens. Like
Nope.
they were just creepy enough looking that you're like, are we just gonna fucking go for it and like not even worry about explaining all this other shit we skipped across?
It reminds me of Signs, where you have that deniability throughout, and then in the third act, you go, no, it's for real.
Yeah.
And in this one, they're doing it at the beginning of the second act, and
Yeah.
you go, whoa.
It's like, hey, watch out for this shit. It's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
If you're gonna do this right now, what else do you have coming?
And I also love that the last one, they recycle the YouTube of the guy getting punched in the face when he jumps out of the trash can at the high school.
Just immediately, like, he's got, it's a very character driven response of flight or fight. Okay, he's a fighter. He immediately is like, let's go. He's got a reflex courage.
Yeah, and it's totally reflex, exactly what you would say.
Yeah.
If that happened, you're not gonna sit there and go, oh, you're gonna swing at it,
Yeah.
which I liked, and that ended the prank immediately.
Mhm.
But they were all like, "Yeah, don't mess with Jupiter Bear.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
And that's one where you're like, okay, it's that other thing where it just alludes to, just Bale's so good.
Yeah.
God.
And like that whole sequence, it's hard to look away from that one because you have that last section where obviously this is a fiction, but the kid that does the slow lean around the corner and it takes forever is so great.
It takes forever.
And the focus slowly goes from the post onto the camera where he's trying to film it. And I like that he's like, all right, I'm a filmer now. I'm going to film weird shit now. So he just automatically pops out his camera.
Oh, God damn.
It's good.
It's just, there's a lot of love for horror and suspense. I don't know. It's so satisfying.
Yep.
I'm
trying to think of what came right after this. I think it is the flashback. Is it the flashback to Keith David telling him about Ghost out in the field, just claiming his territory?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, talking about, yeah.
And he says, I wrote this line down because it was so important to the actual, Sally, the plot of the film. Some animals ain't fit to be trained.
Yeah.
Great line.
Hey.
And at the time, we're not sure yet.
Yeah, you're not sure, but
he's just talking about Ghost.
He's telling you, yeah. Okay, let's praise Keke Palmer for a second here, because
she was great.
She's just in control of kind of the movie. She's the one who sets the pace for the whole film, and she's got a lot of the best comedy lines where all the other comedy in the movies that the other characters get to have is because she sets it all up. And her character being so loud and boisterous is fantastic. Jumping ahead, the whole shit where the guy on the bicycle on an electric bike shows up, and she's figuring out what's happening here, and she goes, "Oh shit, y'all, it's TMZ." Fucking great. Where she's
the foil to
smart.
OJ.
Yeah,
because
she
it's the
figures
exact
it out.
opposite of OJ.
Yeah.
And she's smart for those things.
Yes.
Or he's sitting there when no one else wants to talk about it or think about it, still trying to figure out how it hunts, how to trick it. He's sitting there at dinner like, oh, it looks at your eye. If it sees your eyes, it knows you're taunting it or you're like, you're food.
He knows the animal stuff, and she knows.
That was another one of those great ones.
Yeah, she knows kind of the technology and like the logistics of things.
Yeah. Like electric bikes.
Yeah. I don't know. The scenes where she had such great presence in the movie.
She's also very attractive.
She's quite pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
anyway,
hey, everybody.
Glad Sally went to bed.
Everybody's attractive in this thing.
I would let Keith David be the big spoon any day of the week.
Okay. So here's speaking of attractive, I want to talk about my favorite character in this whole fucking movie. Can we talk about him?
Yeah. Which one is it?
That fucking cinematographer. That film guy.
I love that his name is Antlers Hoist.
Is that his name?
Yeah,
in here?
it's just one of those bizarre ass things.
He's so lost. I mean, he's so lost inside a camera that it is lovely, and that
he was put on the world to do one thing.
Yeah, and you know that Jordan Peele knows motherfuckers like this, and he wrote.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, he wrote this mess as like an homage to all of these people that he knows.
He was at like a party in Malibu, and some guy came up and was talking about like, well, if you follow those dreams, they're gonna die on the vine, just like your testicles.
All these poetry symbolisms and everything that he puts in there, but they hit him enough time. Excuse me, they hit him enough times in the first and the second act.
Take a minute, breathe.
I'm having an event.
You need some water.
Okay. They hit him enough times in the first and the second act that by the time he shows up at the beginning of the third, this guy's a psycho. He's crazy. He knows his shit, but like he's that one scene where they call him and he's in his home and he's watching the films, he's watching the raw footage, the dailies of predators eating their prey,
which is perfect.
He's just sitting there watching this shit and going insane.
It's those fun ones like the tiger fighting the anaconda.
The one that I focused in on was the octopus eating the crab,
and then it exploding back out. Yeah, that was great.
And I go, this guy, like this is a great, like, if there's no more of this dude, then this is great. This is just a good scene.
This is exactly how I intend to Clockwork Orange my children.
And he's got all that tropical like jungle in the background from his windowed house in the Hollywood Hills
with his lemon tart in the oven.
Because he wants to be in the jungle, but he's also got the Hollywood shit going on.
Have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
And yeah, he just goes Colonel Kurtz at the very end. Like,
I loved it.
He's like, all right, we're going to do this thing. And he's cranking that shit. Fuck.
Which I feel like when he said the, not my lifetime line, he was like, I'm dying.
Yeah.
So that explains, because the first time I saw this, I was like, why the fuck would you just go out and kill yourself? But the second time when he's talking on the phone with her in the very first conversation, and she's like, it's an impossible shot. No, it's not what could be in my lifetime.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, shit, he's probably dead.
He's waiting for the Undertaker to come.
And then when that opportunity came with old Jean Jacket, he said, suck me, motherfucker.
And that's honestly, I don't know. That's one of my favorite things because they've got it. They've clearly got it on film. They don't have
all
to
the
do
shots.
anything else.
Beautiful shots.
Yeah, but he sees the sunlight coming down, and he's
the magic hour.
He's lost, and he's gone. He's off the reservation. He goes, the sunlight, and then he goes up. He's gotta do his thing. He's got to go out his last stand.
He's got to drink that grape Kool-Aid one way or the other, and it worked out.
He got his wish.
Also, the son of a bitch wore a tunic.
Yeah, black tunic and a black like shawl that he's got.
I'm gonna go find what he wore. It's probably gonna be like a 12 grand thing from like Maurice's or some shit.
Yeah. And I love it. They that's somebody they picked out. What's this crazy asshole gonna have on when he shows up?
Wincott is so good at delivering those lines too.
Yeah.
Like we talked about all the movies that we remembered him from.
He's so
in the 90s.
He's just so serious, and he's got that great
his
gravel,
voice,
that gravel.
That I smoked cigarettes since I was in the womb.
Yeah, and he's it's this tough guy persona, but like he's just behind a camera. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a rifle. He just he's got nothing to protect him.
Yeah.
He's more tough than the guy with the rifle because he's just there to get the
just
shot.
Crazy.
Run me over.
Which he has one of my favorite lines. I quote from oh god,
It's a double.
Delete back.
12
seconds.
Aftershocks.
One of my favorite lines.
It's a Tremors reference.
It was a Tremors reference. I'm gonna keep one in. I'll have to be two, I guess, for Aftershocks. Anyway, you've seen Crow the one time.
Yeah, I saw it.
Most of the people that listen to this, I've probably seen it a few more times. One of my favorite pieces of that movie is, all right, I'm going to do some spoilers for The Crow. That if you haven't seen it, it's 40 years old.
Oh, geez, I hope you don't spoil the fucking Crow. Jeez. Hey, Brandon dies.
In the middle.
Spoilers.
So they're at the church, and they figured out the power, and, he's like banging his like psychic sister or whatever it is, and she says, if you kill the bird, it takes away his immortality, healing powers, and all that shit. And he walks in, does his Brandon Lee thing. They shoot the bird, and Wincott walks up and just goes, "Quick reenactment for you. Caw, bang, fuck, I'm dead." I love that line so fucking much.
Okay. All right.
That was a long thing to talk about in the middle of a Nope segment.
Just you hear that voice and you got to get into the crowd.
I can't get out of the wind gun voice. It's like my Bane voice. I just want to talk like I've smoked cigarettes for the last 72 hours straight.
Well, I feel like that's a good lead in to talk about the music in this movie because I
Choked.
I'm a big fan of original score in films, and they're not in. People don't take the time. They don't include it in the budget. They just put that fucking Marvel score on there. But there's original score in this that I really notice, especially the second time around with the horns, especially at the beginning of the
third act is really when it started.
Act, yeah, when it kicks in and it's that high noon Wild West showdown music where it's got the horn, it's got the one horn, and then a flute.
You're talking about like right before TMG shows up.
A flute comes in, and it's when they're picking themselves up off the ground. They got their ass kicked. They're in L.A. and they head back up to the ranch, and it's like, okay, let's do this thing. Yeah, and it really sets the stage in a great way for the third act.
Which I think we talked about it a little bit. I really liked I don't know if it was from something older, because it was so identifiable as a Western running on with a horse sequence when he's running to get that shot, the magic shot where they do the parachute and it turns sideways and flips upside down. It's like the most John Wayne music shot. Yeah. So I wonder if that was sampled from something or if it was just I want one of those.
I think it's original. I thought of Ennio Morricone, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Man. But it's not as overstated as that is. Of course, nothing in film ever is more overstated than that fucking soundtrack, and it's the best way ever.
It's so goddamn good.
But no,
if you haven't listened to XC of Gold, go listen to it right now.
It's that showdown music where this is it. This is me versus, this wild animal, and I'm going to prove myself as the animal wrangler that I am. And it's great. It's this 1v1 of the character that you've gotten to know and this wild creature that nobody has ever seen before, and he proves himself, the professional that he is.
Well, and another thing that I enjoy about that sequence is they're not doing the classic horror thing. They're not trying to kill it.
No.
They're trying to get it on film so they can prove to the world that this thing is out there and be the first ones to do it and get a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And there's one tiny moment when they're at dinner and Angel's like, but this is like a good thing to do, right? Like it's going to save people's lives.
This is bigger. This is bigger than just money.
This is bigger than us just getting that 10 mil or whatever.
And he's got the least skin in the game as far as all of them are concerned.
He's just been tagging on.
Yeah. They're all trying to do this for mostly larger reasons. They've all been doing it for longer than he is. Yeah. And he's just there like, man, my girlfriend broke up with me. I got nothing here, but he's.
By the way, check out some pictures of her here real quick.
Yeah, the fucking CW, man. But even the lowest on the totem pole around this table is like, hey, this is something good that I'm doing with my life.
He's trying to justify to himself because
it's worth it.
He's so scared. Yeah, he's gonna die. Yeah. So it's a little column A, little column B.
And you know what? In a lesser movie, he would have died. Like, he would have...
I'm surprised
somebody's got to die.
People didn't die. Yeah. And the guy that didn't die because he was stupid and the thing won. He died because he was like, hell yeah, I'm going to go up in the space thing, man.
Well, get eaten. There's another guy who died, too.
Well, he had it coming.
I think that's my favorite joke in the whole movie is... the fucking TMC guy who's like film everything all the time. Every single shot that he's in the movie he's either got a camera in his hands or he's like, why don't you have a camera in your
Take a
hands?
picture. Take a picture real
Film
quick.
everything constantly. That's Jordan Peele shitting on those TMZ guys because he hates them,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
they definitely deserve it.
Yeah, they absolutely deserve it, and he just wanted to watch one of those guys go up and get crunched.
So here's another question I have about this, and we missed a spot we're gonna have to go back to, but they took Antlers up, they took TMZ up, and
Take them up.
previously when the jean jacket has taken people, it holds them for a while, and then it will do like and eat them all.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I wonder if at the end of that, when it got popped with Sally's big boy, that anything fell out of it that wasn't crushed or eaten or whatever, and you maybe had just like antlers screaming, falling to the earth.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know, like it didn't go through the gut or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we're going to have to talk about the design of this monster then, because it got away from itself.
Well, hey, agree to disagree. So after Antlers got sucked up,
Yeah.
there was a scene afterwards where it was going to suck up Angel, but he barbed wired himself,
Right.
so he
it
wouldn't
didn't get all the way in.
Yeah, but you do see debris come down, including like cameras and stuff.
Well, you see the reel rolling down and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, even after that, like there was cameras that Angel had in his hand when he was trying to get sucked up.
Yeah.
So I assume that because all the shit came down, that Angel also.
I want a Netflix 1 hour special that's a documentary about what happened in this movie, and it's all black and white, and it's like them digging up the footage from the field.
Found, yeah. It's the Blair bitch.
I'm just kidding. I don't want any of that. So we did skip the house,
Oh,
which
that's the cinematography piece of this, and it's great.
there's two amazing shots.
Great.
And it also sets up another theory that we talked about when we saw this the first time about a woman's time.
That's right.
And do you want to do the house first, or you want to do that one?
Let's do the house first.
All right, go ahead.
Because it just looks so good.
It's a great shot.
You know, okay, so
You have another key. You got the speedy wheelchair thing on the roof. You got just all of that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then you have the shot.
yeah, and you know, the rain stops because the saucer has rested on top of the house.
By the
and
way,
then,
I'd like to note that clearly Jordan Peele stole that from the book Tides of Shadow. In the third act, there's a moment where that exact same thing happens. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah. So anyways, so yeah, it crunches. You hear all the people screaming that it's just got up there in its throat, and then it crunches, and then you see all the blood come down, which I'm assuming is a Shining homage, maybe. I don't know.
I could see it being that. Yeah.
And you know all the blood,
Especially the way it was shot, because it had kind of the hotel look.
Yeah, you know, and they were up secluded, and
top.
yeah, and so there's this, you know, there's a shot of all this blood raining down, and it just comes down for a while,
Like,
you know.
There were a lot of people there.
There was a lot of people, yeah, at the.
This was also my favorite part because Sally, I think I woke her up during this, and earlier on when the horse was sucked up, she was like, "Oh," and then this scene she was like, "Oh,
Whatever.
going to bed."
There's another shot here that we're talking about, and this is the morning after. When they, you know, they're all taking shelter in their various vehicles.
OJ just wakes up like,
OJ wakes up. The sunrise is coming around, and you know he escapes out of his car, and he goes around the back of the trailer, and there's that great fucking shot. Everything is silhouetted.
Fog everywhere.
Fog.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's beautiful, and there's all the destruction. There's all the accoutrement on top of the house that has fallen and gotten caught in like in the weather vanes and everything.
Another
and,
key.
Yeah, all the
Peel.
yeah, all the aftermath. Oh Jesus.
Yeah,
all the aftermath, and it just looks so good, and I don't know, that's the artsy fartsy shit that I really like, and it just looks great. I don't know,
but that's those things that if you didn't do it, you'd be like, it was good, but they could have done a little more.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's like it's something for the audience to let you know, hey, you're watching something quality here. There's quality. There's care that went into the way that this looks.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's where
you're getting flustered about words.
I'm getting. Well, it's the one where, you know, hey, this piece of shit cinematographer that we've got, and we're clearly joking with, and we're laughing at. Also, cinematography is important to us. It's,
hey guys, we like that you pay attention to our movie.
yeah.
We will treat you with this.
Yeah. They kind of respect all the characters in there, even though they're all everybody gets to be comic relief at a certain point.
Yeah.
It's not shitting on any of them. Okay, it's fine. You guys still serve a purpose.
Yeah. And Angel again, totally exposed, shaking, freaking the fuck out. One more moment of him peeling that shell off. He pulled a Shrek.
Yeah.
Little onions.
You know, and when he runs into the house and he grabs the knife, he runs. He doesn't just run and go under the table. He runs back
finds her
to Keke Palmer and goes, "Hey, listen, this is serious.
This is bad.
Yeah, do something. Like, arm yourself." Like he's trying to do something to help her. He's not just a straight
You're not
fucking
just
coward.
running off.
Yeah.
Good point. Also, Emerald has an emerald ring. I wrote that down. I don't remember where that was supposed to go in the conversation, but
it's a thing. It's a thing that we do.
So from here, I did like how this kind of took a beat because they're all in shock, obviously, at this point.
It's the low point.
And they get in his van, which for some reason the only thing that'll run. Get the fuck out. They go to old Angel's house, and Angel and Emerald have to just get like high and go in VR
and do the VR. Like
our world is so bad.
Yes,
I'm gonna go into VR headsets.
OJ's the only one who can deal, and he's just sitting there
just
thinking about it.
He's just thinking it through.
Yes,
because we skip from that to them stoned to shit at whatever the pirate Copper Coopery.
Yeah, they're getting a Krabby Patty.
Tartar sauce.
And you know, nobody else wants to do anything about it, and he is the one who has been with it all day, and he's like, out
of left field.
We know what we're doing.
I think if you look him in the eye, everybody's like, come on, man. Yeah. It's like, well, we're gonna have to deal with this shit sooner or later.
Which, you know, the first time they introduced that and he averts his eyes, I was like, this is lame. I thought it was lame. And then later on they reinforce it.
Yeah.
And I got over it.
Well, they built it into an actual mechanic of the film at the end.
Right.
Which once they did that, it had obviously a slope to go up because anything with two round lights or reflective surfaces is going to look like an eye.
Right.
But once they established that, it was sucking up those balloon men anytime they were facing up. And that was one of those good moments where Angel was wrapping himself in the barbed wire so he wouldn't get eaten.
Yeah.
And he looked over and he saw the blue balloon man looking up, and he tried to grab it to flip it over.
Well, and he earlier, before he wrapped himself in the barbed wire, he looked at it and he realized that he looked at it. So he caught himself in a
he turned around and closed his eyes. Yeah.
So he knew at some point he was going to have to do something to try and make this.
Which and we'll get to that actually at the end probably. So before we get to all this, we have the whole plan come together. They go outside, they talk it through at the fish hatchery.
Yeah.
Really thought I would have written that down.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, that made me want to fucking shrimp po' boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, nope.
Oh,
No, so they do that, and then
Bazinga.
at the same time, you've got Antlers Hoist over there listening to the radio, and it's talking about how all these people disappeared at Jupiter's Claim somehow with no reason, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, fuck it. And Emerald gets a call or a text or whatever, and the next thing we know, Act 3 begins.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where they get back to the house, and Hoist is waiting for him. He's got his magic, no electronic camera. He wants to sing the song you heard earlier, Purple People Eater, because he's insane. And they have a great back and forth about who's going to get the actress out of her trailer.
Yeah.
Which I liked it a lot because it's a family and a director. The family does movies. And it's just one of those shorthands that if you put it in anything else, like with a librarian and a lawyer, you'd be like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Here it worked really, really well.
Yeah.
And him, every time I fucking hear him talk, I just love hearing him talk about anything.
Well, it's just, that's the thing, is that you hear him talk about anything and it grabs you.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I want to talk about is in that same sequence, they have the topographical map and they're throwing things down, and all of a sudden it's like an Ocean's 11 heist movie.
It does turn into that, doesn't it?
It's Ocean's 11, and it's, hey, they're explaining what you're about to see, everything that's about to happen.
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yeah. You don't know all the logistics of everything, but you get the concept.
Yeah.
They're gonna capture this thing on film. And here's how we're gonna do it. And then, they have the great little reveals of the flags coming out when you get into trouble.
Yeah. And you had that like 45-minute moment where Brad Pitt was eating chips in a telephone booth.
I thought that was really misplaced in this movie.
Probably shouldn't have wasted the time on that.
Yeah, Brad Pitt eating the chips.
That explains some of the FX.
They had the wrench got thrown into the plans when TMZ fucking shows up on the scene.
Which also, I love that TMZ's helmet was the exact thing that freaked the horse out at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So he had built one, but you never saw it again. He didn't have to use it because TMZ guy showed up.
Right. Yeah.
I like that so much. Also, what happens when a 60-mile-per-hour electric bike hits a anti-electric field? Oh,
yeah, and you show it from far away, and it's hilarious. It's played for laughs. It's a nice little breakup of like a tense scene. And he's got the fucking one eye lens that's a camera lens on his camera, on his helmet. What? Because he's just a piece of shit. Like, just obsessed with camera and recording everything.
Man, just like the youth today.
I have never and will never be photographed by TMZ for good reason, and I fucking hate them.
Anyone listening to this that knows Taylor, where he works or where he lives, go take a candid shot of him, send it to TMZ, send them this recording.
Yeah, and they won't. They'll do nothing.
Oh yeah,
they don't care because I'm not a space alien.
I'll give you $100 if you get it on the air.
Well, that's
good
incentive. That's incentive right there.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
What else were you talking about?
Yeah, that bike.
It was like the Tesla special, wasn't it?
Electric bikes. I don't think Tesla makes an electric bike. I think there's a lot of companies that make an electric bike though, and especially in LA. That's the one place you can probably get them.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah. Especially
now that we're not doing that. No politics. I won't cut it. I'm just not going to talk about it. So let's go back a little bit because there's a couple things I missed the first time that I really liked. The second time, they stole the batteries from the cars of all the people that died at Jupiter's claim.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first time I saw it, I thought it was a car lot.
Nope.
And the second time I was like, oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you hear Angel be like, oh, it's just those dead guys' car batteries. You're like, yeah, it is. You're right. It is those dead people's car batteries that are making our plans come to life. I did not like their microphones were labeled with their Monopoly names and not their real names. That would have been way easier. Just a personal preference.
Oh, I got something we haven't talked about yet, but I'll address it after you.
My next thing was TMZ, which we just went over.
Yeah. Okay.
Get it.
So one of the things that I wanted to mention is the title of the movie, which shows up multiple times throughout the film, but it's got multiple meanings. So nope is the obvious meaning is your reaction to when you come across something that is dangerous or scary, and your intuition kicks in, and you go nope, and you nope the fuck out of there. So that's number one. But the other one that I wanted to call attention to is very early on in the movie when he sees the fucking saucer,
Yeah.
and he's sitting there talking to his sister, and he goes, "What do you call like? Is there
a word for
is there a word for bad miracle?"
Yeah, which is a great line.
And she goes, "Nope." So a nope becomes this other thing, becomes this definition for a bad miracle, this flying saucer that eats people.
I like that.
It is a nope. And I was like, oh, wow, that's nice. That's real. That's good stuff.
How long have you been thinking about this?
Yeah, to layer in, huh?
How long have you been thinking about this?
I do stuff sometimes.
A little chubby on that one. That was
Sometimes
good.
I can't ever get to sleep, and I just sit around and I look at the stars. I don't know where that voice came from.
I don't know what that was, but I would like to hear more of it.
Nope.
That's the correct answer.
But yeah, no, I thought that was nice. And if you go back and I think there's probably a couple more meanings in there. If you go back and you look at the instances where they say it.
And that's something I wrote down was, that word.
Yeah, that thing.
Where you're with the stuff.
Attribity-doo.
Situational.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's used different ways, different times.
Yeah.
So it's very situational. It's like Smurf.
Yeah.
I need a Smurfing pie. I'm going to Smurf your mom.
They smurf all the smurfing day.
If I smurfed my Smurf off, then I would not smurf into any Smurf's eyes ever a Smurfing again.
Yeah. Smurf.
So, to your point, it was used a lot of different ways. And when I saw the original poster for this, the very first thing I thought of was when I lived in Flint, Michigan, and I had a school group go through a haunted house together. I had never heard nope more in my entire life than that 10 minutes through the haunted house. Everyone. Nope. 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 Nope.
Shit.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It was a nope town.
Well, you hear it a lot these days whenever they turn on the fucking faucet.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Man, I've got so many things to cut out of this episode.
Yeah, no, you don't cut it. So it all stays.
It's here now. Hey, so what else you want to talk about this movie that we watched?
I definitely want to talk about.
I've got a few more
you can add this in. Is I love how low budget they do the scene when all of the guests at Jupiter's Crossing get sucked up in. You can have this horrible scene of all of these people, like it can be very gory, but the chimp scene is not gory at all. It's
right.
They hide most of everything.
Well, and
you just get the after effects, but again in the scene where they get sucked up, they just have some sheets.
It's a two-parter. You have the sheets, and then you have the first one where Ricky's looking up, and you have like the shadows around him.
Yeah.
Which is just a CGI shadow wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Very cheap, very easy to do, very effective.
Yeah. And he's looking up there like a dumbass thinking, oh, this entity is about to fist bump me.
We're gonna have the first space fist bump.
Yeah. And there's that scene of them up in the sheets, and the camera is moving up vertically as you see all these people stacked on top of each other, like compacted in there, and they're in there for hours.
Like,
you realize
a long
time. And then it can crunch them at any second, and it crunches them
over the house.
And you go, wow, that sounds like one of the worst fucking things I've ever heard. To be stacked in there, people on people, screaming nonstop, not knowing what the hell just happened to you, because they have no idea.
Well, they should have a little bit of idea.
I mean, he
explained some of it.
They have some idea, but probably even still at that point, they're expecting the aliens to pull him out one by one and get probed.
Maybe I won't get crunched.
I'm just going to get something shoved up my ass.
Yeah. Oh, way better than death.
Yeah. way better.
Uncle Steven?
Oh. So yeah. And you know what? He's got all this budget because Hollywood will give him whatever he wants at this point.
Well, and he used a bunch of it on space stuff.
Yeah. But he goes, okay, this one is better, low budget, claustrophobic, being slowly digested kind of thing.
Which I want to know, where's the nutrition go? Because its shape changes multiple times.
Let's get nitpicky here. Yeah, where does the new?
What?
Yeah.
Where's the penis? Where's the vagina? No,
I want to know about the circulatory system of this particular creature.
I also would like to know about that. But it changes, and it doesn't change until the very end. You have the climax. You have this boss fight, but it changes like 3 different times, and then you have the green flashing thing.
Yeah.
I just want to know what.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It does the eye switch?
Yeah,
twice or like 3 times. I want to know. Just to be like a little bit more.
Well, originally I thought it was like a threat response, and I was like, okay, this is like, hey, stay away from me, kind of thing. But then,
like if you face a black bear, like, hey, I'm big.
Yeah,
go away.
yeah. But then I was like, okay, no, that doesn't make any sense
because it's actually hunting them down at the time.
Yeah, it knows that it's the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what that whip was, where it was, whipping out the layers of its mouth repeatedly.
It's lasagna face.
It got big. It puffed up into its pufferfish form, or unfurled, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I think I described that scene as a reverse Super Mario's ghost, because if you look at it, it chases you. If you look away, it ignores you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, little ghost thing. Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
There's
a lot of people who haven't played Super Mario. That's what I'm saying.
They're not listening to this podcast, I'll tell you that much.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Not invited back?
Yes, technically in its behavior, you're correct. But
I also thought one of the forms was very Cthulhu-ish.
Yeah.
Like the tentacles coming down to the bottom.
Yeah. But it clearly has like that head shape of it's got kind of a head that's shaped like the alien queen is what it reminded me of.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah. And the bottom was more of that blousey kind of bell shaped that it ultimately it utilized to catch up with the
Princess Peach.
Yeah, Princess Peach. Yeah,
alien queen.
Skirtiny dirt. That it used to catch up with the
big boy
big boy slash Austin Powers, Red Rocket that was going away.
Poor girl.
Bless her heart. She's, folks, if you're listening to this, Sally has only ever seen Austin Powers. The International Man of Mystery. That's the only movie she knows to compare things to. And she didn't even like it that much.
Nope.
Wah, 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 wah.
So this is where we have Emerald using the manual well photo machine Polaroid thing because
She used it well, too.
Man, she double dipped.
Fuck you.
And your mother. And I think you said that it was because maybe she thought that the footage didn't make it or she was doing backup just in case.
It got ate up, y'all.
All right. And then she released Big Boy. And I like that once again the thing changed or uses. I keep thinking it's a Spawn cape.
Oh, yeah.
Because it got big and then it grabbed the entire inflatable, sucked it in, and then you had your sheet moment with it bubbling the sheet.
Yeah.
And then from far away, it just and it killed everything.
Yeah, popped
I guess
it.
that was good.
Okay. Oh, I thought we were building
I'm
something
done.
there. Okay. Yeah, no, that was great, and but it also made me think. Okay, why are we trying to capture these photos if we got this carcass of this thing that we're gonna have? But I mean, okay, you know what? I didn't hate it, but I'll tell you what I loved is after that, this whole scene of this, this pan into Keke Palmer as she's like reacting and you don't know, like she's just looking.
That Western ending.
Yeah, she's looking out to the ranch and like she's just like processing everything. And you see her processing what just happened and you start to think, oh, is she looking at something? Is she looking at something or is she just dealing with everything that just fucking happened? And then they do that reverse cutaway and god damn it, it's that hero shot.
OJ on a Bronco.
OJ on a Bronco. Fuck yes.
Woo!
So Jordan Peele definitely thinks that he didn't do it. Yeah. Oh.
Call in at 626.
626.
Get out of here.
Fuck you.
Well, with that, Jesus.
Yeah.
I also, there was one other person in this that I immediately recognized, and
Who
it
else?
was Eddie Jameson, who was in The Punisher. He got tortured with the popsicles by
Oh, yeah.
Thomas Jane.
Yeah,
He was the very first guy with the managing the crew.
he's the PA.
Yeah, letters. Yeah, man, I know that guy, and I know him as being tortured.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went into my torture.
He was also
folder.
in the Ocean's 11 film.
He was indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote that down as well.
Yeah. So
I don't know where I put my notebook.
yeah, no, that's the thing. The thing that happened.
That was good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to this? Do you want to go through the menstruation thing?
No. Well, okay. So I talked about
It's been brought up.
I didn't include. Again, I love the audio, the Foley of this movie. At the very beginning, when his father gets killed by the falling shit, and so there's all these quarters that are falling. That they're hitting the metal railings, and they're making that twang sound. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
And
He got killed by nickel, by the way.
Yeah, was that a nickel or was that a? I thought that was a quarter.
I'm pretty sure it was a nickel.
I thought it was a quarter.
Maybe we can run it back.
Let's run it back and we'll say quarter because that's what it is.
Well, I'll right here. It was a nickel, you simpleton.
But I wanted to call out was they said that it's this falling shit from a plane.
Yeah. Like a private charter or something like that.
Right. So wait a minute. So pause. Where did that stuff come from? It ate a plane. A plane encroached on its territory and it fucking ate it. So that actually did happen.
I was thinking it was like just eating random people and it just like farted.
I think that's entirely possible, but the reason that they said that it was so definitive that it was a plane, a plane must have crashed
and disappeared.
and
Some smoke.
disappeared. Yeah, and they got the entrails.
Yeah,
and it ate a plane because it crossed into its territory.
which going off of its other shit, I guess, if it just like squeezed out a key and a couple nickels and whatnot, was it just like farting like a bird going across the yard doing a little squeeze? Because we see later when it takes a dump, it's like blood and
Yeah. Maybe well, it did drop out a bunch of little things before it got rid of the horse. So like it dropped a bunch of little shit on the house whenever it blood.
I mean, you had a carriage, you had a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. But
it was
but
saving
it
that,
didn't
It was saving that horse up. It was like
yeah, it didn't get yeah.
it was getting ready.
It had to floss. For
Ugh.
yeah.
Ugh, it's around the uvula.
Yeah. I don't know. This is such a good movie.
It was great.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
If you haven't seen this movie, go check it out. Everyone in it is phenomenal. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I can't wait to see. You know, there's part of me that wants Jordan Peele to do a franchise movie. Like, hey, make one of these franchises good because they're all shit. But the other part of me is like, dude, keep doing stuff like this. Like,
I can't wait for Nope Aftershocks.
oh man, Nopes. Like Nopes. That's where it's at.
I think maybe is definitely the title, but that's just me.
Nah, people are too stupid for that. You have to associate it. Live, die, nope.
What?
Yeah, edge of nope.
Good.
I'm good.
Chris, Sally, anything else before you guys shove off?
Chris. No.
I love that we both looked that direction.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for listening. Talking with Words. You know the deal. We're everywhere. We're taking over your entire world and your life. I got nothing.
Are we recording?